today.
Nous sommes vraiment très heureux de
In India, we see this $60 billion cotton deal with Burkina Faso as more than trade, it's partnership. Their fields bring the finest cotton, and our factories will turn it into textiles for the world. Together, we're weaving a future of jobs, growth, and shared prosperity for both our nations.
They announced it like lightning striking a quiet sky. 60 billion cotton export deal. Picture someone whispering that during a dusty Burkina Faso market, and suddenly, everyone stops and stares. That's what happened when Ibrahim, the young leader of Burkina Faso, stunned the world with a pact aiming to send mountains of cotton to India. This isn't just about cotton bales crossing borders, it is about rewriting the story of an entire region, the promise of jobs, factories, and cash flowing back to rural communities, but also questions. Can this deal survive politics, infrastructure headaches, and global chaos? And what happens if it doesn't? To really get why this could change everything, we need to peel back layers from cotton fields to government offices, from rainy planting seasons to global textile giants. So buckle in, because what started as just fiber could spark a whole textile revolution. We'll get into how in just a moment. Ibrahim isn't your typical leader. He's in his mid-30s, with a sharp mind and a scrappy energy, like someone who grew up building things with their hands and decided to build change on a national scale. Before he took power, the government was tangled in old ways, and farmers struggled to get fair prices. Saw opportunity in cotton not just as a crop, but as the key to rebalancing the economy. He talks about fairness, opportunity, and building our future, our way. And suddenly, cotton isn't just plants in the field, it's hope personified. But the question on everyone's mind, can such a bold vision survive in a region used to upheavals and promise without follow-through? We'll see how this very deal answers that soon. $60 billion, it's a staggering figure. For Burkina Faso, that's years of GDP packed into cotton. So what's behind that number? First, volume. India needs millions of tons of cotton for its garment factories. Burkina Faso can grow lots if rains hold and seeds cooperate. Second, value add. The deal isn't just raw exports. It's layered with textile development, processing centers, maybe even factories. That's where the real bucks come from. This package includes loans, infrastructure investments, training programs. It is not charity, it is a strategic bet from India on stable supply and from Burkina Faso on transformation. And here's the twist. If the deal works, cotton might be the spark, but what comes next isn't just bigger numbers. It could be factories in Ouagadougou, better roads in the north, new markets across Africa. But will money alone do it? Stick around, because the deeper obstacles are up next. Money doesn't travel fast in places where roads wash away in the rainy season. Infrastructure in Burkina Faso can be patchy. Dirt tracks instead of highways, fragmented power grids, storage silos that leak. Farmers risk losing entire harvests if transport fails. Then there's politics, changes in leadership, competing interests, red tape that slows paperwork to a crawl. This deal needs consistent follow-through, not just promises. Plus, climate. Cotton's thirsty. If rains fail or come too hard, yields drop or disasters strike. So even with a deal in hand, nature itself might pull the rug out. Still, investors see a way. If they build roads, storage, fiber mills, and train people rapidly, the payoff could be immense. But can Burkina Faso stay focused long enough to make it real? We'll dive deeper into that in the next chapter. This isn't just a Burkina Faso story, it's a stake for India, too. India's textile giants crave cheaper cotton to stay competitive globally. By securing a large, reliable supply, they can undercut rivals and scale up. On top of that, political capital. Investing in Africa boosts diplomatic ties. Imagine cotton to cloth supply chains, stretching from Ouaga to Delhi and exporting garments across the world. India is offering not just contracts, but factories, modernization programs, even technical help. That's a two-way street. Better margins for Indian industry and industrial birth for Burkina Faso. But motives are never simple. Will local businesses share in the spoils, or will profits flow back mainly to foreign companies? Stick around, because the human cost and reward story is next. Meet Fatimata and Mamadou, farmers who've passed down cotton fields for generations. Today they hear talk. You'll get fair pay. You'll get resources. For families like theirs, the deal could mean easier loans, better seeds, training, and maybe even new factories nearby offering steady factory jobs that could transform daily life. Kids able to go to school, families building small houses of brick not mud, markets buzzing with new goods. Yet there's fear. What if promised factories never arrive? What if they remain field workers with no leverage or safety nets? What if loans become debt traps? The hope is real and so are the risks. But hear us where it gets even more compelling. The next section uncovers how this deal could cascade beyond cotton, reaching fashion stores in Lagos, markets in Marrakesh, and maybe even your own closet. Let's get to that. This deal isn't just one country selling raw fiber. It could spark a textile boom across West Africa. Think Burkina Faso as a hub, with neighboring countries supplying labor, materials, and shared infrastructure. Imagine regional factories, regional design labels, exports to Europe, Asia, and beyond. It could rewrite Africa's role from raw exporter to fashion exporter. And the timing matters. Global brands are looking to diversify away from traditional suppliers. Ethical supply chains and African-made, African-designed labels are gaining buzz. This could ignite a wave from cotton to textiles to complete African fashion ecosystems. But there's one final caveat: success depends on follow-through, safeguard, and local ownership. If this flops, it's not just a failed deal, it's a setback for an entire emerging industry. So, a $60 billion cotton export deal. At the surface, it's big figures and national pride. But beneath, it's thousands of hands planting seeds, engineers building roads, young leaders betting on futures, and families dreaming happier days. If and his partners can nail the logistics, live up to the investments, and keep the focus on communities, this could be more than a deal. It could be a story of transformation for West Africa. And even if challenges come, climate setbacks, political shifts, or misfires in execution, this bet has already shifted the conversation. It hinted at what's possible, planted a seed of ambition. So whether cotton becomes king, or this deal becomes a footnote, one thing's clear: the dawn of Africa's textile boom has begun, and that right there is a story we all want to watch unfold.